And most importantly so, because your car is not among the people polluting the road at that particular point in time, the air rather.
Causing hold up again, traffic on the way.
Exactly. It's a corporate social responsibility. So we are employing you, employers, to please allow people to stay off the road, work from home, because it just reduces the number of cars. Imagine that Lugbe to town, that's road. It's absolutely crazy.
When you follow Maraba Road, you understand.
Ah, my God. All right. Another advantage is improved competitiveness. In a globalized economy, businesses need that healthy competition, right? They need to be able to compete with organizations from all over the world, and not just company to company. Even within your company, there's that healthy competition as well. So offering remote work, it can help level the playing field and attract top talent regardless of your location. It's important in today's climate of digital transformation, where businesses need to be agile. They need that adaptability to survive. So if you're still stuck in the past, my brother, my sister, you better wake up, okay? You better wake up. And still looking at employers, one of the advantages of you adopting remote work to your business is there's better disaster preparedness. What exactly do I mean by this? It may sound far-fetched. Which one is disaster again? What's Gisiri talking about disaster? Yeah. But remote work can actually help businesses prepare for and respond to disasters. With a remote work policy in place, businesses, enterprises, and all of that can ensure that operations can continue even if their physical premises is affected. That means that work doesn't go on hold because there's a fire, or because the roof is leaking. That means work is suspended for the day. No, it means that people can work from wherever they are and still be effective, in your job, which is a pretty good thing.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And also the employees have their own benefit they derive by working from home. We'll just look at the aspect of the employer, and now we're going to be looking at the part of the employee. First of all, it's going to give you a better work-life balance, which is one of the biggest problems, especially for the female folks. They are the ones that are really, really finding it difficult to have a work-life balance. You have a responsibility as a mother, or probably as a wife, and also your responsibility at work. So working from home will give you an opportunity, a kind of flexible time to be able to plan your affairs diligently. So the first and most obvious benefit is that one which I mentioned earlier, which is work-life balance. When you are tied to a physical office, you can structure your day in a way that works for you and gives you more time for your personal life, including family commitment and social engagement.
Yes. So look at me now. I do voiceovers, right? And it means that I can work from anywhere, anywhere in the world. I'm currently working with a company outside the country, and imagine if that remote work option wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. So I can still work here and still do that job. I can still take on a lot of other jobs as other options as well. So it helps you balance your work life. Yeah.
And also you have a greater flexibility. Because when you work remotely, you can choose the schedule that works best for you. Flexible hours allow you to take care of personal errands during the day and then make up for time by working in the evening or on weekends if necessary. A lot of people even leave their own late at night before they work. During the day, you see them as if they don't even have anything to do. They do nothing. But in real sense, they have something doing actually, but because of the flexibility attached to it, it allows them to do other things. And another benefit is to the employee is that you can have your time structured. You can take more than one job.
Yes.
As opposed to when you go to work in the office, you go to a space that you'll be there from morning till evening. But if this you just work for a particular hour, you schedule and structure how your work is going to be. More money for you as an employee. So it's a good one as well. The another thing is less time commuting. We talked about this earlier.
How long it takes you from your house to the office.
You have to wake up as early as possible. When in real sense you're supposed to be at work by 8. Probably that's your reporting time. Some even 8:30. But you have to wake up. Depends on your location. So you see all of that struggle because it affects you financially. One, because the cost of transportation will drain from your purse. Another one is the psychological impact it's going to have on you because of the stress accumulated stress is going to affect productivity. Now that this is automatically taken care of, which means you have more money in your bank, and also your productivity level will be on the increase.
More time on your hands. Apart from the more money, more time. Imagine now, you mentioned Maraba, right? Imagine having to come all the way from that axis. That means that you're waking up at 4 a.m. Or maybe 3 a.m. as the case might
Because
be.
you don't want to meet
You
that
don't want to
traffic.
meet the traffic at all. So you're waking up at 3 a.m. You're getting ready. You're already on the road. Time that you would have used maybe to pray, maybe to plan your day, maybe to prepare how exactly you want your day to go. Okay, from 6 to 7, I'm going to do this. From 7 to 9, I'm going to do this. From 9 to 10, I'm going to face office work. From 10 to 11, I'm going to face this other job. So
Yeah.
it just gives you that ability to take time that you would have used on the road to plan your day better.
And also, it gives you more freedom and autonomy. As someone who works remotely, you will certainly also have more freedom and autonomy to do your job the way you want to. For instance, you won't be micromanaged as closely as you might in a traditional office
Yes.
setting. Just like a lot of people will tell you, I don't like the way this boss does his things. And whether we like it or not, at times, the way you are being micromanaged by some of those employers or some of those bosses, it affects your productivity because it limits your ability to be more creative.
Yes.
But if you are working from home without supervision, it allows you time to think. It allows you to be flexible and be more creative. The only thing is that your priority or your target is just to deliver on your mandate, deliver on your job, and you certainly do that because you don't have anyone bothering you.
Really, I think it makes a lot of sense at this point because with working from home, that means that your office has already put deliverables, things that you're supposed to deliver at the end of a day or at the end of the week. So that means that you're in charge of your time, but you also know that you have a deadline. So however you want to space it out, if you want to spend 3 hours working on one thing, or you want to spread it out across the week, that today I'll give this thing 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, and then at the end of the day you are sharp meeting that deadline, which makes a lot of sense at this point, as opposed to working in an office space where someone is here distracting you, at the office. Maybe there's Ali laughing kiki in one corner, AY is there giving you the face, or there's sort of like a restraint on your creativity. So working from home just allows you to do however you want, wherever you want, right?
I know, especially people who are introverts, that helps them a lot because some people, if they get to a gathering, they get to office space where there are distractions, a lot of things here and there. If they're introvert, they don't come out of their shell. They just tend to be kind of restricting themselves from mingling with people, and it limits or reduce their productivity level. If they are outside the office environment in their comfort zone, they will be free and they give you the best results.
Yes, I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Having people who do not necessarily like to interact with other people, it could be a disadvantage because sometimes you need to be out of your comfort zone to be able to work, like to challenge yourself. But on the other side, it could be an advantage because it gives you more time and it just allows you to bloom in your own space. Well, depending on how you're looking at it.
And it also allows you to even have a kind of costs. You manage your costs in terms of, or you'll be able to apportion costs to your time. Because you're able to know that from so time, for instance, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., that's 2 hours, I'll be able to complete this task, and this is what I will earn. As opposed to when you go to office that you'll be there from morning till evening. Mind you, sometimes, not even sometimes, there is no way that you'll be at work from morning till that evening, the traditional time we have in Nigeria, 8 to 4. There is no way you will be working from that 8 to 4. There are times that you have nothing to do. You just be moving around, or you excuse yourself, you go eat, you do this. So the productivity out of the whole hours is not commensurate to what you already have. By the time you are working from home, you'll be able to plan, okay, this hour is this is what I can get from so hour. But if you spread it across, what you earn across the hours you spend from 8 to 4, it's not going to be commensurate.
Yes, I get what you're saying. I think it makes a lot of sense because sometimes we're at work 9 to 5 and you're not effective the whole 9 to 5. It's not even possible. The human brain doesn't function that way. Sometimes you need to take walks. You need to be away from your desk for a minute to give your eyes, your brain time to breathe. So in that moment, if you were at home, you probably would have, taken a nap. You probably would have taken a 30 minutes power nap, and then you're revived again. But in the office space, you could go shower. You could go gist with a friend, you laugh, and then 10 minutes later, you're back. Your energy is revived again, and then you're back at it again. So having that remote work option is a really, really good thing in businesses, right? It also helps to create a more effective communication line between you and your employers, right? So remote work can make communication very, very effective. We saw that play out during COVID-19. The whole world was at home, but businesses still continued. So remote work use written communication more than regular traditional office settings. So it can lead to more clear, concise communication overall, because you know that you have a limited amount of time to speak to this person, and you need to pass a message across very, very effectively and efficiently. So that means that, as opposed to a lengthy memo that you would have gotten in the office, it's just a mail. Do this, so that we can do this. Bam. You have the information already, and you go ahead, do this, and you move on. And it makes communication very, very effective.
Yeah, and another point also is that I don't know whether it happens to you, it ever happened to you, or you listening to us, you'll be given a directive at work. Probably you are that kind of person that is, let's say, jack of all trade. A lot of bosses here and there giving you work to do. This one send his, this one send hers, and at the end of the day, you tend to forget some. Not until when you are being asked, you completely forgot about it. But this time around, if you are having to do this kind of working from home, the instruction is not going to be just like passive
verbal.
The way it is. It will be verbal. There's going to be document to back it up. It serves as a reminder to you that you have a responsibility to deliver. So you don't automatically I don't forget, as in it will not even come up.
That makes sense. So you have also a comfortable work environment. Like I mentioned before, you can easily stand up. You're in your comfort zone. So you can stand up from your work table. You can move on to the kitchen, pick up a snack, and you're eating. You can be in your comfort clothes as well. So you're working, but you're working from a place of comfort, and that means that your brain is functioning at its maximum capacity at that point in time, because you're not being pressured. You're not struggling with your tie. You're not choking yourself with your tie. You're not you're not feeling uncomfortable in any way due to your dressing or the environment around you. And you know that decor, office decor, has a lot to play with your effectiveness. Let's say the color of your office is one that you don't even know that you hate. Maybe your office is painted red, and you're just uncomfortable in the office. You don't know why. I've studied a little bit about interior design, especially in the workplace, and how it affects productivity. And it has a lot to play. Imagine you're walking in a place where it's white, there's greens everywhere, plants, there's the breath of fresh air is there, you're comfortable, there's that. But if you're working in an office where it's just there's a stiffness in the workplace, it just makes it uncomfortable for you. So working from home puts you in a place of comfort, whether you prefer working from home or in a co-working space or in a cafe. Whatever the case, you can find a setup that suits your needs and helps you to become a lot more productive. Because some people will say, I don't like working from my own house. I'd rather work from a friend's house because they know that, this is not my house, so I cannot sleep and lose guard and forget. Some people would rather work in a cafe because just having that light chatter in the background helps them. So finding a setup that works perfectly for you is a major advantage, especially in working remotely.
Like some will tell you they don't want distraction, they want to be in a silent place, a quiet place. That is where they prefer, and there is no way you have a quiet place at work if you are in an office environment. It's not possible. And some will tell you that they prefer to listen to music while they walk. You could do that if you are in your own personal setup. And also we talk about fewer distractions, which is one thing that a lot of people find it difficult. You discover that you're in an office environment where you have this colleague of yours that you don't know what you can do, but the person keep distracting you as you try all
those
could.
beboru
But
co-workers.
they
They will
would
disturb
continue to
you,
distract you.
bring gist, bring tatafo that is not your business. They will just be all up in your
and really at times the gist they will even bring might be the one that will distract you without you even knowing. Because for instance, as a football lover that I am, if you bring a gist that has to do with Man United now, I may want to pick interest to talk about it. When in real sense,
your ears are there.
in real sense, I'm supposed to concentrate on what I'm about doing or what I'm doing, but because of that gist, I'm like, no, this story with Mason Mount, what would Mason Mount add to Manchester United? The stuff like that, you just get distracted. The next thing you realize, you are running late.
Your deadline, you're running late
Yeah.
on your deadlines or your deliverables. It's pretty crazy. So that means that you can you can arrange your workspace in a way that is very, very conducive for you. If you're the type that likes chatter, if you're the type that likes to talk a lot, you're just in that space, you function effectively that way, then you can go ahead and set up a way for you that maximizes your productivity. But if you're the type that just likes peace and quiet, or you like to listen to music or whatever, you can set it up the way you want. But just know that there are advantages, and remote work is here to stay. We saw that play out in COVID-19
Yeah.
and post COVID-19 realities.
That was a new world order.
It was a new world order because people could not believe that people would work effectively from home. But see, it worked, and a lot of people are taking up that option right now. So you might want to get on that bandwagon and do that. Okay, it's a new world of work, and it's full of opportunities, especially for those that are willing to embrace change. If you're still stuck in our parents' era, you don't want to change, you don't want to develop yourself, well, you can try as much as you can to seize advantages that remote work offers. There are many benefits of remote work for employers and employees. So it's here to stay,
Certainly
and it
it's
will
here to stay.
continue to shape how we work in the years to come. Yeah.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we will take a look at some of the business news around the major papers we have. Talking about the pages of newspaper, we'll take a look at some more business stories there.
After the break, stay tuned.
We are your Romeo.
Be our Juliet. Visit any of our branches today for a long-lasting memory.
Romeo's Pizza, the pizza champion USA. We quench your pizza taste. The secret is
11:30 a.m. as we dissect and give detailed updates on this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia, titled Echoes from Hajj. Eid Mabruk.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Check this out.
Every night, stories develop. So no matter where or how you want to end your day, the Evening Rush is here, keeping you informed, safe, and educated. Take a deep dive into all the stories live from wherever you are. Let's talk news in a way that makes sense to you. The Evening Rush, weeknights from 6:15 p.m. only on VOP 96.1 FM Abuja.
Tuned for your daily dose of inspiration as we dive into the world of lifestyle and wellness. Get ready to elevate your mind, nourish your body, and ignite your spirit. It's time to unlock the secrets to living your best life. Join Formula U on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja, Mondays to Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m.
It's easy to cover the news, but what we are doing is hard.
Front Page Review.
Front Page Review gives you the story beyond the headlines, the news from every angle.
Now let's start the review with this day. The lead story, Bury zoning and Bury Nigeria.
The story on top of the lead, terror threats. Sanwo-Olu summons emergency security meeting. Last but not the least is the story on the window. At 70, Buhari extols JC Danjuma's years of service.
Join the Front Page Review at 7 a.m. every weekday on VOP 96.1 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Industries Flight VOP 96.1 FM, where the rhythm of entertainment never stops. Get ready to groove with exclusive interviews, fresh music releases.
All of the things I'm talking on day, yeah. I dedicate my time.
Behind the scenes insights and sizzling industry buzz from the hottest artists to the rising stars. We've got you Mondays to Fridays, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. only on Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja. Enjoy your flight.
As a sharp business owner, you know you need to advertise your business, right? Don't lie, you need the advert. So what better platform to advertise than with VOP 96.1 FM? Our rates are friendly and our reach extensive. Go ahead, take that bold step and advertise that business today. Give us a call on 080-5761-9720. That is 080-5761-9720. Visit us at our office at number 4 Ogbomosho Street, Romeo's Pizza Building, Area 8, Gariki, or send us an email on abuja@voiceofthepeople.ng.
Welcome back. Still Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Business around town. Now we're back. Let's take a look at some of the headlines we have that concerns business. Some stories rather, because we will go details to make sure that we give you all the necessary information you need for your business decisions.
Yes. So we're beginning from Punch newspaper. This one here says federal government to collect VAT from market traders and others. Federal government to collect VAT from market traders and others. The Nigerian government, through the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS), has announced the VAT Direct initiative a scheme aimed towards enabling the government to collect value-added taxes from the informal sector and reduce multiple taxations in the informal economy. The FIRS disclosed this in a statement on Monday. It stated that it would partner with the Market Traders Association of Nigeria to collect and remit VAT from its members, particularly those in the informal sector, using a unified systems technology. The statement partly read, a collaboration between FIRS and MATAN, where MATAN promotes awareness on VAT collection and remittance in the marketplace and informal sector, while also simplifying VAT payment and remittance for the marketplace and informal sector using a purpose-built digital platform. According to the FIRS, the scheme will help tackle multiple taxations in the marketplace through partnerships with security agencies to curb the activities of touts and self-imposed tax collectors. This will also boost VAR revenue generation for the 3 tiers of government, which in turn means more money to fund infrastructure and social amenities, the statement added. MATAN members will receive an ID card upon enumeration, which would contain their tax identification number and other personal details. The move is coming at a time when Nigerians are groaning under the burden of fuel subsidy removal and foreign exchange reforms. There are indications that some informal sector groups may protest the new tax being imposed by the FIRS.
Yeah, this is quite something that will generate controversy and reactions going into the future, because this issue of multiple taxation is one that we have been talking about, especially in this country. Yeah, the good part of it is that they want to take away the impact of tout collecting money here and there from Nigerians. But again, we'll have to look at this thing holistically. First of all, the federal government wants to be directly involved in collecting tax from informal sector. What happens to the state government? Where would they collect? And you said you want to tackle issue of multiple taxation, because certainly the state government will also want to collect in their various states. So also FCT Inland Revenue Service will want to collect for the FCT. Then you want Federal Inland Revenue Service to also collect. So are you actually going to take care of multiple taxation? You have to look at it from that perspective.
What if it's a situation where the FIRS in Kaduna State takes care of VAT collection for Kaduna State?
What happens to Kaduna's Internal Revenue Service? Every state have their own state internal revenue generation base. They have their own revenue service. In the FCT, we have FCT Internal Revenue Service, separate from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. I think their office is not even far from here, Area 8. I saw their signboard a couple of days ago.
So, yeah, what exactly is the FIRS for? If we all have individual internal revenue service, especially in different states,
there are revenues accrued to federation and there are that accrued to state. Just like what happened, I don't know if you can remember, during President Muhammadu Buhari, the issue of revenue collection, especially in oil producing states, when governors like Wike came out to say no, the federal government should not be collecting revenue from what from the resources in their own state. They should collect and give the federal government a certain percentage. It's not the federal government to collect and give them and share across board what they are generating from their own state. So it's continuing to generate controversy. However, I don't really know if at all the government would go a long way in terms of saying, okay, there are some means of collection that will be cancelled. They're going to be eradicated. This is the only one that is going to be recognized. Probably they would have an understanding between the Federal Inland Revenue Service and the various state inland revenue services to understand that, yes, these are taxes that are accrued to the federal government. It should go to the federal government, while this should go to the state government. And another thing is that local government will also want to come and collect their own revenue. So the thing is really, really much, especially now that people are passing through this difficulty of as impact of fuel subsidy removal and also the unification of forex, which automatically increased the hardship that Nigerians are passing through. Cost of living is on the increase, and now you still want to demand more from these people, from the informal sector, where you know that is where the larger chunk of the low income earners, the average Nigerians, the vulnerable Nigerians, that is the level they belong, the informal sector. Yes.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. I personally, I am of the opinion that yes, even though it's a good avenue to generate revenue. Oh my God, these words are so they are tongue twisting. Anyway, but we know that yes, it might be a good initiative to generate revenue for the federal government, right? But when we're talking about reducing duplicates of functions, right? We need to understand. So at this point in time, since states, generates their own, they already have their own FIRS, right? They have their own FIRS already. So if every single state has theirs, what are they going to be collecting? What will the FIRS now collect from the market people? So that you're not saying that, the states will not, the touts from the states might not go and harass these women, when the women have already said, we've paid already to the federal government and you're coming to collect money from us. So this issue of the touts that are always, harassing people in the marketplace, isn't it further going to heighten that harassment?
Because the issue of touts collecting money from people or harassing people in the market, that should be a kind of, we need a total revamp in terms of our revenue collection stream. Because the officials that are saddled with the responsibility, they are the ones that contract some of those revenue collection to some agencies, where you see that, I know for sure something that happened back then in the Kefi, Nasarawa State, the local government or the state government will now contract an independent firm with the collection of revenue in a particular place. So revenue is going to be collected by this. They've contracted and follow all the market people and collect the revenue. But most times if you go, the people will be telling you that, well, I've paid revenue. This one will come environmental. You pay. This one will come sanitation. What is sanitation? What is environmental? You pay. This one will come their road. So a lot of different duplicate payment in terms of taxation, multiple taxation is what we already have. I know for sure the president during his time in Lagos, he created a lot of avenues of generating revenue for the state government, but this is on a larger scale now. Lagos is just a state. The state government can control all of that without having much
duplicates here and there.
But this is Nigeria as a whole. Federal government already state are having their own offices where they collect their own. Local government are also collecting their own. So there is need for us to actually sit down and look at our tax collection system. It should be rejigged, and we should automatically avoid or eliminate the issue of multiple taxation. And how do we do that? By involving technology into it.
Exactly.
That is one thing.
It's automatic.
Yes, automatic. You just pay there. That is where you go. You pay, and
you've paid for the
problem.
month.
Nobody will come to your shop and be harassing you. No tout will come and be harassing you that you paid this or you need to pay that, because everything should be encompassing in one some payment.
You know how I can't remember if it's road safety or VIO. They have this. They have an app where they just set your plate number.
Yeah.
Sometimes if they stop you on the road these days, they just road safety. So they search your plate number, and anywhere in Nigeria, wherever you are, they have your database. They have your information. That means that if they check your plate number, they check if your papers are up to date. They check all the information that they need to ensure that you are truly roadworthy, right? That vehicle is roadworthy, and you yourself, you're certified to be driving on the road. So can we have a unified system in such a way that it doesn't matter wherever you are, the state can see that, you've paid already to the state. This one can see that, you've paid to the federal government. Everyone can see that you've made payments, so that people will not come and be harassing you on the road when you've already done the needful, right?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next headline this morning. All right, there's this one here from, it's talking about the CBN intervening in this POS issue. There's been a hike in the rates that the POS operators collect. So the CBN intervenes as more POS operators implement rate hike. The Central Bank of Nigeria has said it will intervene to resolve issues around the new charges adopted by the point of sale operators in Nigeria. Already, POS agents are meeting with stakeholders across the country to agree on changes in transaction charges for the POS services. This is following increase in POS charges across Lagos, Ogun, and Edo states. This was disclosed to newsmen by the National Public Relations Officer, Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, Oluwasegun Elegbede. According to him, other states are working to follow in Lagos's footsteps and increase transaction charges. On Friday, June 30th, the PRO, AMBAN, that's the Association of Mobile Money and Bank Agents in Nigeria, the Lagos chapter, Stephen Adeoye, declared on Channels Television Business Morning program that the association has come up with a new price list for POS agents operating in the state. He said, "Let me tell you the price list. 1,000 to 2,400 will be they would charge you 100 naira for withdrawal. 3,500 to 4,000 will be 200 naira. 4,100 to 6,400 will be 300 naira. 6,500 to 7,900 will be 400. 8,500 to 10,900 will be 500 naira. 11,000 to 14,000 will be 600. 14,500 to 17,900 will be 700. 18,000 to 20,000 will be 800 naira for withdrawal." Justifying the increase in prices by the Lagos chapter of the organization, Elegbede told newsmen that POS agents are adjusting their prices to reflect the country's current economic realities. He said, "Yes, it is something that is expected to happen nationally. Looking at business last year and the current economic realities, it is very important that we also continue to stay in business. Every other thing in the market has gone up, and we operate in the same market as every other business. Basically, the source of our business, the funding, the operational cost, and the payment of staff is borne by us." He stated that agents need to increase their prices if they are to continue to stay in business. He argued, "We have to increase prices if we want to continue to stay in business. We need to balance costs. It will cut across all states. What we agreed on at the national level is that each state should come up with something that is realistic in their state. We cannot dictate prices for the state." Elegbede explained that every state will not adopt Lagos's rate, but will tailor theirs to prevailing peculiarities. Many of the states are having meetings with their stakeholders as we speak. Many of our members are in communities where there are stakeholders. Many of them are having engagements with these stakeholders. They are setting up committees to ensure that it is something that is well adopted and accepted by all. According to him, most mobile agents in the country are members of the association, and those that are not will increase and align their cost to benefits from the increase in transactional charges. So what we're seeing is a hike. We already saw that, even though it was on an unofficial hike in the rates, that was during the cash crunch.
Yeah.
The days leading to the elections, we already saw a hike in how much these POS operators collect. But now the organization is saying that the AMBAN is saying that they are going to increase prices, even though they cannot dictate what Lagos will take, what Abuja will charge, what Ogun State will charge, and all of that.
Peculiarities in
exactly
each of the states.
But then again, you have to also look at the current economic realities. Businesses are adding up monies, right? The regular rates before isn't what is attainable right now. So we can't expect the POS operators to do the things the way they were doing it pre-subsidy removal, right? Subsidy has been removed, so there's a new economic reality. So we can't expect them to be functioning pre-subsidy removal economic realities.
Yeah, it's okay because they are in business and they want to stay in business, and the sole aim of business is to minimize cost and maximize profit. That having said, but they should also be realistic in terms of their demand, because the issue there is that, yes, we know we are not strangers in this town, that we know that cost of living has increased astronomically, but they should also understand the purchasing power of Nigerians did not increase. That is the biggest thing, because if you have a commensurate increase in your purchasing power, that will give every other person an avenue to go ahead and increase some of their cost or their charges. But they have to also consider for a fact that Nigerians are still battling with the reality. That is one of the reasons why at times, if we're trying to make case for an increase in salary, yes, government policy has come and affected every one of us in this country. Talking about the subsidy removal and also the unification of the forex, it has a ripple effect in almost everything we do. Now we are hearing that these people want to, talking about the POS operators, they want to increase their charge. It's not as if the cost of the machine has increased, even if it has, but the purchasing power of average Nigerian has not increased. They say they go to same market like every other, but also Nigerians go to same market, they patronize same market without having a commensurate increase in their salary. So I think we just have to be very careful, and that also goes down to the government, because you have to look at every possible impact of your policy before you bring it to play. You don't just bring policy because you have looked at the government part of it or government perspective that is going to favor the government, is going to reduce the cost encumbrances of the government. You just go ahead and implement such policy. No, you have to look at the impact. Yes, the impact it's going to have on the common man. That is the biggest, because the office of the citizen is the biggest office in the land. So you have to consider the most vulnerable Nigerian in terms of your policy, not looking at the high class. Because now there is, I want to say middle class, but there is nothing like middle class now. It's either you are at the upper echelon or you are down at the grassroots. That is exactly what is happening. So I will really implore on the POS operators to also be realistic and be mindful of the situation of Nigerians, considering the fact that our purchasing power has not increased. We are still where we used to be in terms of purchasing power. And you know, some of these policies tend to affect people receiving salary. Now, these are POS guys, they are into business. What happened? As a result of increase in fuel pump price and forex unification, they want to increase their cost, which means they will still make profit. But you, as a salary earner, there is no commensurate increase in your salary, which means you have more responsibility, more liability, and no more income. There is no increase in your income, so you'll be the one to bear the larger brunt of all the issues. So also drivers now, drivers have increased their fare, even though they are realistic. Yes, I must confess they are realistic, especially here in the Federal Capital Territory. The increase in fuel pump price is almost more than 200. It's more than 200, close to 300 fold or threefold that you got increase from 195 to 540. So the increase is quite wide. But if you look at the transport fare, the increase is not even more than 50% to 100%, max 100%. That's the increase. Where you pay 200, now you pay 300. But if they look at what they are buying fuel for, is more than times 2 of
much
the
more,
cost. So
much more.
They are realistic. I must commend drivers on that part. So we should also look at it from their own perspective. If we are to be in their shoes, what would you do? And the government needs to come clean in terms of this palliative.
So you're having a situation where you're withdrawing 20,000 for 800 naira. In this particular situation, I personally do not think it's so bad, because you withdraw that 20,000 once.
Yeah.
It's not like as if you're withdrawing 100,000. If you're withdrawing 100,000, kindly go to the bank, please. Kindly go to the bank. But if you're using the POS, just that small money and the small change that it gets, I personally think it's okay. But I may be then again, I may be in the middle. I may be in the middle class.
Plenty side hustle, even for Yankee. That's what she's saying. This.
Ali, you don't cover me, please. Oh my God! But hey,
that's on the lighter note. We just try to break the monotony and laugh a bit.
Oh my God. So moving on to another headline this
Do we even have time for that?
Okay, we don't actually have time.
We exhausted our time for the show today. Thank you very much for listening to whatever we brought to you. But make sure that you are very considerate, and make sure that you have a side hustle if you don't have any. When you listen to us, we give you tips on how to grow your business. We give you tips on business you need to start with little or no capital. We do that on Voice of the People, because our priority is the people. That is exactly why we are here. Without you, we would not be here. We are here just because of you. So make sure that you interact with us, whatever you want to say, you want to share anything, eyewitness report, questions, whatever it is. We are all visible across social media handles. If you go to YouTube, we're live there. What we're doing right now, you can watch us there on YouTube. And if you miss any of our shows, you could go to YouTube and revisit and watch everything. So there is no way you're going to miss anything. We all got you covered.
Exactly. The Crazy Bunch is up next. We have yes, they're up next. So if you want to find out who the Crazy Bunch are or is, God, English is hard, my God.
It's not our language now. After all, if you bring an Oyibo man, say, come and speak my own dialect. Now, my own dialect is Alago. Will he be able to speak Alago?
Exactly.
Me, I'm speaking their own. Will they try?
So the Crazy Bunch is up next. Make sure you keep it locked. If you want to find out who they are, then keep it up right here on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Until tomorrow, we will make a comeback at 9:30 immediately after Fine Boy talks to you about sports. Okay? Good morning.